Welcome to GamesWorld. Tonight is cheat night, so please enter the Peep Parlour.
Hello, my darlings. I knew you wouldn't be able to resist coming back to my Peep Parlour for a second helping of video game tips and cheats. And with Madam Pixel, you do get incredibly large portions. We're going to start with a Videator Masterclass, which is when one of GamesWorld's champion players gives us some pointers on one of the latest games. Here's Radian Automatic on Streets of Rage 2.
Streets of Rage 2 is quite a difficult game, and it's one where people make a lot of very basic mistakes. So, of course, there is a very easy way to get through it all, and that's by cheating. Now, fortunately, I have got a really good cheat to make things a whole lot easier. To start with, pick up joypad 1. Press start here until you get to the main menu screen. Then take joypad 2, select options, press button A, then holding that, press button B, then keeping both of those held down, press the start button. At this point, the options menu should change quite a bit. Your lives counter, you can bump that up to 9 now. There's also 2 more difficulty settings. Mania, for if you really want a bit of a challenge, and very easy, for if you're really not at all very good at games. Yeah, there's also, at the bottom, a level select, so you can choose which level you'd like to start on, for anyone who's a bit lazy and doesn't want to play any of the earlier levels. Of course, if you're not quite low enough to cheat, there are a few simple strategies that generally make things a bit simpler. First of all, the main thing to remember is your chickens. When you smash some of the objects in the game, some of the scenery, a nice tasty piece of poultry appears. It's best to keep this on screen for as long as possible until your energy bar is worn right down, and then pick it up. That way you extend your energy bar by a great deal instead of just healing up a little bit. Another thing to remember is the strength of your character. If you've got one of the bigger, beefier characters like Max or Axel, then they're quite capable of picking up the heavier weapons such as the pipes and swinging them about with gay abandon. However, if you've got one of the slightly weaker characters like Skate, it's best leaving these on the floor, as otherwise you slow your character down too much and it all gets very cumbersome. One thing to remember when the screen's a bit empty and there's not much going on is to power up your main attack. To do this, just press the punch button and keep it held down until you come within kicking range of an enemy again. This way, when you release the button, you should deliver a much better attack, a very powerful one, generally capable of knocking down 2 or 3 enemies at once. There is a very good strategy for dealing with the middle-sized enemies that aren't quite bosses, but are still a real pain. The easiest thing to do with this is to use your special flying attack. To do this, just jump in the air, then pull down and your attack button. Every character has a special flying move that they'll perform at this point, and it instantly stuns the enemy. Also, it's a very fast move, so it's really easy to follow it up as soon as you land, knock the enemy right down. Then you can just repeat this when they stand up again until they're dead. So there you have it, the Streets of Rage 2 Masterclass. And if you can't beat it using all those tips, then you must be really sad.
Wing Commander Wonka, the expert on shoot-em-ups, is going to take some of your questions. First customer, that way, please.
I've played F-22 Interceptor on the Mega Drive today. Is there anything else I can see?
Okay. Enter GTGAUO as your passcode. Now, when you land your plane, you'll get a very interesting view.
Thank you.
I keep running out of lives on Desert Strike on the Mega Drive just as I am close to victory. Can you help?
Of course I can, you little smudger. Go to the campaign password screen and enter TQQQLOM as the code. Now, you'll get back to the main menu. When you start the game and go to the map screen, you'll see you've started with 5 lives instead of the usual 3. What a cheeky little cheat, eh?
Thanks a lot.
Can you help me get further and after burner 2 on the Mega Drive, please?
To get 100 extra missiles, hold down B and press all the directions whilst refueling. And that should get you that little bit further.
Thanks.
Is there right cheating on health bar on the Mega Drive?
You'd like 99 continues, would you? You strapping young thing. Well then, select hard as the difficulty level, and then listen to any tune for over a minute. Where it would normally say hard, it says yeah, right. Now, when you die, you'll have 99 continues, allowing you to play the game forever.
Thank you.
That's enough questions for the moment. Time for some more in-depth tuition with another Videator Masterclass. Letty Edwards, the game-playing granny, has kindly agreed to impart some of her vast knowledge on pushover.
Hello, my name's Letty Edwards, and this is my masterclass, which I'm doing on the game of pushover, which I thoroughly enjoy. The first move to make is to move the blocker. You really find your own system on this game. This is the quickest way that I could find to do it. You might find a quicker way, but I don't know whether there is one. Then move the ascender. That's the next move. And then you've got to move your delay. And then if you go back and move the other yellow one, and then when you've moved the yellow one, that does make way for the tumbler, which you have to bring the tumbler down. And now you're beginning to see where you make your push, because it is the push that is vital on this level. And the last move is to move the last yellow brick. And now it's time for the push, which, as I say, on this level is the most important. And then you have to make a very, very quick exit because your time's running out. That is your complete level, and you just work it out from there, and that should work.
She's a lovely lady, is that Letty Edwards. Right, before the break, we've just got time to slip in an arcade report. The best players around will give us their tips on how to crack the latest arcade games. It's all so risque.
Here we are at the Funland, the Trocadero in London. In 1979, you might remember a game called Galaxians. Well, here's the sequel. The hottest game from Namco, Galaxians 3. As you see, simultaneous 6-player action. But if you think this is good, just wait till you see it in Japan with 32 players playing simultaneously. You take on the role of one of 6 stargunners who must take off into outer space and fight to the last against a horde of alien starfighters that have come to destroy the Earth. But you and your own is not enough. The key to success in this game is working as a team to destroy the alien hordes. Only this way will you stand a chance of saving poor old planet Earth.
I thought this game was pretty hard. You can't see what you're exactly doing because there's too many things in the way. You've got to have 6 players to play this game, otherwise it's too difficult. You won't get through the level.
We've all played the updated Street Fighter 2, but wait until you get a load of this, the aptly named Championship Edition. But what are the differences?
The special moves are different in this version because you can make them go faster or slower, and when the opponent jumps up, it will follow them, so it's like it's gonna follow them all the way. So if you keep doing it, they can't get out of it. Unlike the old Street Fighter 2, in this one you can change players, so you can be Guile and you can change to Ken, Ryu, whatever you want.
Forget Street Fighter 2. This is Mortal Kombat. The main difference between Street Fighter 2 and this is the graphics are much, much more advanced. There's a few special moves that's like been changed. But the main thing is the Death Wish, which is at the end, once you've won your 2 rounds, you can then do a special Death Wish move that will rip their spines out, burn them up, punch their heads off. Much more gory, much, much more advanced, much better. Next week we check out virtual roleplay.
I hope you all learned something from that. Time for a break now, but afterwards we'll have plenty more advice to help turn you into top-notch games players. Don't go away.
She's a high-flying lawyer defending the people on the streets.
My name is Rosie O'Neill. I'm with the Public Defender's Office.
A woman who knows her own mind.
Let's just assume that I'm right and you're wrong. I have to defend you even though you don't want me to.
Exclusive to Sky One, a new series from the award-winning Cagney and Lacey team, with Sharon Gless and Ed Asner.
You may not like what I do, but what I do just bought you your freedom.
The Trials of Rosie O'Neill starts March 23rd on Sky One.
Cadbury's Twirl. 2 folded fingers coated in delicious Cadbury's chocolate. Take 5 for a Cadbury's Twirl.
Over the years, Clifford has lost the odd friend and nearly lost his girl. To Eddie. But he's kept his teeth because he's kept his gums healthy. Listerine or Coolment twice a day are clinically proven to give effective protection against plaque, lasting 24 hours. That's good for gums and teeth. And while fighting plaque, they also freshen breath. Listerine twice a day helps take breath away and keep plaque at bay.
Oi, psst! Not now! But don't you want to try some crunchy, scrumptious Honey Nut Loops? Yeah! They're an irresistible part of this nutritious breakfast. Give in to the taste of Honey Nut Loops.
If you're buying a less expensive liquid than Fairy because you think it's better value, you may want to think again. Because we've tested how far a pound goes when you're washing up with Fairy compared with some so-called value brands. We found that a pound's worth of the so-called value brand went a long way. But what about Fairy? Fairy's so much better at unsticking grease. A pound's worth goes even further. This much further, so you could say you get this much washing up for free, along with Fairy's mildness, of course. Now, you may spend a few more pence, but a pound goes miles further with Fairy.
If you can do this, here's what you can create.
Something with your personal touch.
Here's what you can create.
Something that's a joy to give.
Here's what you can create.
Something to keep and treasure. All you need is creative cross-stitch to give you 9 inspiring ideas every fortnight, with all the know-how and checklists to get great results. And with every issue, there's a chart booklet of clearly marked patterns. It's simple to be creative with creative cross-stitch.
3 great movie channels and 9 choices of films every night at the touch of a button. Next week it's happening. Go! Now! Arnold Schwarzenegger, Terminator 2. Wesley Snipes, Ice-T, New Jack City. Charlie Sheen, Navy SEALs. Showtime. Kurt Russell, William Baldwin, Robert De Niro, Backdraft. To subscribe, call 0506 460000, 0506 460000.
I'll be back. Please enter the Peep Parlour.
Welcome back to the Peep Parlour, loves. For the third of tonight's Videator Masterclasses, Master Moriarty has kindly agreed to give us some advice on Mario Kart. Take a peek at this.
My name is Master Moriarty, and I'm going to impart to you some of the wonderful tips and tricks on Mario Kart that have helped to make me top of the class. I always like to start my race with a speed start, like so. Now, in order to achieve that sort of result, then whilst the stupid turtle comes down, you must hold down the accelerator whilst the first 2 lights go on. Then release it for a brief second before the green light goes on. And then the moment the green light appears, hold it down again. This will allow you to go streaming ahead of all the other racers and allow you to win the race in a gentleman's way. Most people would know about the shortcuts in the ghost houses, but for the morons of you out there who do not know about them, it is shown here. Now, most people think that only a feather can be used to breach the gap, but if you successfully get a mushroom in your inventory, then this can be used as well. Now, by speeding up at the correct moment, and by timing your normal jump correctly, this allows you also to jump over the gap without using the feather. Another fairly trivial thing you can do on Mario Kart is that if you jump into a corner, it allows you to take the corner much better, meaning that you will not skid. This is very useful, and of course I always use it, because gentlemen do not skid. Now, as you can see, I've just acquired myself a banana skin to my inventory. Now, in my sort of circumstances, then dropping a banana skin behind me is pretty much useless. But I can throw it in front of me by pressing A and up. Watch carefully. Now, I've acquired myself a green turtle shell. Now, normally, this would only go straight forward, but by getting a rear view and then pressing A and down, I can drop it straight into my opponent who's behind me, giving me a much better chance of winning this race. Now, I found Mario Kart far, far too easy to complete, so therefore I use the shrinking cheat, as it is often known, in order to make the game somewhat hard for myself. Now, you go through in the normal way until you reach the character selection screen. Then, when you reach the character which you want, press Y and A simultaneously and you will see them shrink. Then press B twice in the normal way and you will start the game as a small character. Now, you can get squashed, naturally. However, if you run into one of Princess's or Toad's mushrooms, it will make you grow bigger rather than smaller. I'll now briefly discuss each of the characters and tell you his or hers good points and bad points. First up is Princess and Yoshi. The two of them are very similar. They both have excellent acceleration, but they skid around a great deal and therefore prove not to be absolutely wonderful characters to pick. Then come Bowser and Donkey Kong, two heavy personages who have excellent top speeds, but unfortunately their acceleration is not up to much. Therefore you'll find yourself playing a catch-up race if you choose either. Mario and Luigi are somewhere in between those two pairs. They have fairly good acceleration and fairly good top speed, but just not quite extreme. Then Toad and Koopa, often thought of as the best two characters to choose. Best all-rounders, and if you're a beginner, most definitely the best characters to choose. Now, my personal favourite is Bowser. The Koopa King has something special for me. And also, I think that the top speed is more important than the actual acceleration. Also, it provides something more of a challenge. And that just about brings my little masterclass to an end. But if you follow my guide, then you'll find yourself wonderful at Mario Kart in merely a few days. However, you'll never ever be nearly as good as myself. But remember, homework always reaps results.
He's a little angel, isn't he, that Master Moriarty? Time for some more quick queries now. Janine, the aerobics instructress and the expert on sports games, is going to take some of your questions. So come along and don't be shy.
I love Premier League Manager on the Amiga, but my goalie always lets my side down. Is there a way to stop this, please?
Bit rubbish, are you? Okay, not a problem. Select the telephone icon and enter the phone number of the company who created the game. That's 753-423. Now, if you look at your team, your goalie will have a 99 handling rating, and that should do you proud.
Thanks. I've heard there's a way of counting of your balls and your score on Dragon's Fury on the Mega Drive. Can you tell me how?
Oh, you're a plucky young thing, aren't you? Once you've flipped your way to a high score, pause the game with the ball in the main stage. Now press button A, and a password will appear on screen. The next time you play, you'll have to enter this passcode, and you'll start just where you left off.
Thanks.
I love Lotus 3 on the Amiga. I've heard there's something hidden in it. What is it?
If you type in CU Amiga as your password, can you do that for me? Okay, there's a gorgeous little shoot 'em up waiting just for you.
Thank you very much.
I keep running out of continues just when I get somewhere on Robocop for my Nintendo. Can I get some more, please?
At Game Over, hold down buttons A, B, Start, and Select. And hold them down and break. Okay. You will switch to the main title screen, where you'll be able to continue till you're a bit achy.
Thanks.
I'm stuck on level 8 of Toyland on Bill's Tomato game. Can you teach me how to finish it?
Now, that sounds like a problem for the game's mistress. She's the person I refer my customers to when they need a real in-depth going over. Know what I mean?
Right, down to business. If you pay attention, I'll show you exactly what to do. 2 fans here and here, then a trampoline just above the A block, a jack-in-the-box next to the C block, and a block above it here. Watch carefully. There'll be a test afterwards. Okay, place a final fan here above the block you've just placed, and that should be it. Okay, set them away and let's see if you've got it right. Yes? Mm-hmm. Yes. Yes. There, a full masterclass at no extra charge. I'm a martyr to teaching. I really am. Thank you.
Don't you just love her? Of course, it wasn't so long ago that I looked like that. Before I leave you tonight, we've just got time for a little challenge. I get so much mail from people bragging about how they're best at this or best at that. Well, you know, we do like to put your game-playing skills to the test and find out if you're really all you crack yourselves up to be.
Hi, I'm Bob from Co-Design, designer of Chuck Rock 2, Son of Chuck. I'm about to set these guys a challenge on the volcanic level. So, Warren, Thomas and Kevin, do you think you can beat the challenge? It's a pretty difficult zone up the tree. You've only got 1 life to do it. Are you going to prove me wrong?
Okay, keep it short.
Excellent. And up for the first challenge, it's Kevin. And he's started his challenge there. Got to get used to that club control, take out those nasties. Seems to have grasped that. Oh, it's taken a hit there. Can he cope with the vine? Yes, excellent jump. And just a couple of nasties here to get past. He's taking his time with the club. Oh, yes. And he's coming up to those deadly acorns, which he can't destroy, so he'll have to avoid those. And he's coming up to the second vine. He'll have to take out the spider. Oh, and it's all over. No energy. And Challenger 2 is Thomas. He's progressing quite nicely. So, he's got to watch out for this spider. He's going to take it out so he can use the vine. And he's got to traverse across this spiky platform here. He'll lose a lot of valuable energy on that. Oh, he's done it really well. A couple of nasties to take out. A difficult jump. Yes, he's well past that. His energy's quite low, though. He's got to be careful. Oh, another hit there. Another deadly jump coming up. And he's past that. His energy's really low, though. This could be it. Oh, and Thomas is out. Oh, tough luck there. Needed to be a bit more patient. And up next, Challenger 3 is Warren. It's all up to him now. He's already got as far as Thomas with half his energy. Yes, oh, Squirrelback got him there. And he's reached the point where Kevin had a few problems. Oh, he seems to have got past that really well. He's got to be careful of these acorns coming up. Oh, it's just got him. A couple more jumps and he's blown it. The challenge is over. Well, lads, hard lines, you nearly did it. But really, you're a bit useless. What do you think?
It was a good game, but it was a hard challenge.
Very hard challenge.
You're just going to have to wait till Easter, till it comes out, and then get a bit more practice in.
Yeah.
OK, lads, I'll show you how to play. There you go, lads. Easy when you know how.
Well, talk about all mouth and no trousers. They weren't even close, were they? Well, I'm afraid that's just about all we've got time for in the Peep Parlour tonight. But before you go, here's the second part in our competition.
Hello, this is the Games Messiah here to enlighten you with this week's competition clue. As with last week, note down what you think the mystery game might be and keep it in a safe place until you have all 4 answers. Details of where to send them will be revealed in a fortnight's time when we shall have a brief recap of all 4 clues. Good luck.
See you next week at the usual peeping hour.